I've been looking forward to this Media Watch all day because I hear the Beastie Boys are going to make an appearance, one of my favourite bands from way back when. James Creedon's here with all the stories, of course. François Fillon's new party has a rather unfortunate acronym. That's where you put all the letters together that they stand for, and it creates a funny name.
A new word.
Take up the story, sir.
All right, well, so there was a split. There's been a split in the UMP party. François Fillon announced this morning that he was, instead of having the UMP party, he was going to have the Rassemblement for the UMP party, which is RUMP, which is rump, which is bum, which is derriere, which is, you know, all sorts of inconvenient meanings. Let's take a look online. This is what people are saying about it, if I could find the right tweet. Incroyable mais vrai, #rump, which means arse, basically, excuse me for saying that, in Danish, Swedish, Norwegian and English, let's be honest. And so people were imagining what the new logo of the Rump party might look like, with Mr. François Fillon being a strong man in the place of the air, which reminded me of that. Do you remember that, Mark? That was when Mr. Romney got his wife and some grandchildren up on stage, and it didn't really work out so well, the whole
money.
Money.
That was funny.
Not quite the same thing, but there
funny.
you go. And of course, it got a lot of people talking about songs where I suppose French people learnt the word rump, because in French, rump doesn't really mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything, does it? No.
But they, you know, people, I suppose songs will inform people. Let's take a listen to the Beastie Boys and Rump, massively shared today on French social media.
Shake your rump.
Shake your rump.
It's great, isn't it?
There you go. And a couple more tweets, Mark. People saying that they love the UMP so much that they're now really pleased that there's going to be 2 UMPs. That is a socialist person saying that.
Yeah.
And
heavy slice of irony there.
Exactly. And I quite liked these 2 photos. I'll have to zoom out from that one there because it's a bit too zoomed in. That was all the microphones waiting for the press conference of Christian Jacob this morning for the UMP party. Look at the press conference for the socialists. No one really cared, right? So I think the news is more dominated at the moment.
I think, yeah, kind of those photographs do sum up some way the situation. So could this only happen in France, as some analysts say?
Well, that's what Denis, oops, kind of the wrong article here. It is Ted Stranger, an American journalist in Paris. He's saying this is a vaudeville or a farce, and seuls les Français sont capables. Only French people are capable of this. Now, I don't know if I agree with him there, but it does play into stereotypes, I suppose, in terms of the perception of French people, maybe a little bit of chaos, a bit of that.
What's ironic for me is that, you know, you had a situation where when Sarkozy was in power, the UMP were poking fun at the socialist opposition party, saying, oh, they're disorganised, oh, they're arguing amongst themselves, oh, there's all this internecine warfare.
Yes.
And what's been going on when the UMP were in opposition?
4 years down the line.
Exactly the same thing.
4 years down the line, absolutely.
So maybe it is a French culture issue.
Perhaps, and indeed, as the BBC's Hugh Schofield points out in this article, the UMP party was created 10 years ago for Jacques Chirac's political ambitions. And in fact, the name of that party was Union for a Presidential Majority. Could you imagine any political party anywhere else being called the Union for the Presidential Majority? In other words, this party only exists for this man.
You could have called it me.
But then they changed the name of it from the Union for a Presidential Majority, from the Union to a Popular Movement, which kept the same acronym, speaking of acronyms, as we are today.
Another insight there from Hugh Schofield. Good fella.
There you go.
Okay, finally, Boris Johnson. Keeping up with the tradition of inviting those who are tired of France to come and live in London.
Now, David Cameron did it. He said he'd roll out the red carpet for French people who are trying to avoid taxes. Boris Johnson said something similar during the Olympic Games. He's now in India on a 3-day visit. And indeed,
he'd like to think of it as a state visit, I'm sure.
He certainly would. And of course, France is there's this big arm wrestling match going on between the French industry minister and ArcelorMittal, an Indian metal giant. Let's take a look at what he said.
I see the sans-culottes appear to have captured the government of Paris. I have no hesitation or embarrassment in saying to everyone here, venez à Londres, mes amis. Come to London, come to the business capital of the world.
There you
I
go.
like Boris. He's the only guy in the world who's got messy hair than me.
Right. So there you go. You have Arnaud Montebourg threatening to kick ArcelorMittal out of France, and Boris saying, venez à Londres.
Venez, habitez chez nous.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Indeed.
James Creedon, thank you very much indeed for
Thanks,
your
Mark.
Media Watch. James Creedon, once again, what a star. Stay with us, we've got more to come, of course. News, sport, culture, the whole gamut. Live from Paris, France 24.